Hey everyone, welcome back to Perfectly Holistic's live Q&A. I hope all of you guys are doing well. And we are streaming on Instagram tonight, as well as our YouTube and Facebook platform. So if you guys are watching on Instagram, come over to our YouTube or Facebook pages if you want to post a question or a comment, because I'm not able to see those on Instagram. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to kind of log on and start following. And if you are watching, absolutely drop a comment here. Let me know that you're here and where you're actually watching from, so I can say hi. So anyway, happy July 3rd, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you and your kitties are awesome. And I also wanted to say a special July 4th, send out some special happy Independence Day, July 4th wishes to all of our American friends. So happy Independence Day, you guys, tomorrow. I hope you guys are going to have fun, whatever you're doing. And just make sure that you take some extra measures to help your kitties and your dogs, if you have dogs, feel safe because of all the fireworks. I absolutely dread this time of year because the fireworks that are shot off illegally in this neighborhood and close by, absolutely drive my cats crazy because it freaks them out so bad. So if you can relate, let me know. I am going to be sharing some just brief tips tonight for helping your cats and dogs feel safer on this 4th of July in case there are some fireworks. So yeah, here we go. Anyway, so if that is an issue for your household, as much as we enjoy watching the fireworks, they're not enjoyed at all by our pets. Hi, Bonnie. It's nice to see you here, and hugs to Jasper and Prince. So just an idea for you guys, if you are going to struggle with firework issues tomorrow evening, some things that you can do now is start to put if you have any kind of flower essence that is very calming, like aspen, if you have CBD that's more of a calming type of CBD, go ahead and start it today. And do it tonight, do it tomorrow morning, do it, whatever it says on the bottle, but don't wait until tomorrow night when the fireworks are going off. So go ahead and just start to calm the nervous system down a little bit. You can also use things like color therapy. So the color red is really great for supporting the root chakra and just helping animals feel safe. So you might want to put that in like a closet or an interior room of the house that's less likely to be as loud for the fireworks. So maybe just create a little safe space for them that they can hang out or sleep and just wait it out, So that is a good color. And then also the color green is very calming and grounding. So that might be an additional color that you put out. And then also purple is really good for anxiety and nervousness. So if your pet is super, super nervous, if they're kind of pacing and acting restless because of all the fireworks, throw out something purple. And again, you guys don't have to spend a lot of money. Go through your closet and see if you have any colors in your wardrobe that you can just, put on the floor, put in the closet, or, put on their cat bed or something that's just, it's there. If they want to use it, they can self-select it. And then if they don't need it, they don't go sit on it, or they don't go lay on it, next to it, whatever. What else was I going to suggest? Green, purple, red, the CBD, the calming flower essence. Like if you use a Bach flower remedy, then like the aspen is really good. Mimulus is really good for fear. So maybe those two would be really good to have on hand if you don't have those already. Hello, Vicky. How are you and your two precious babies? Glad you're here. What else was I going to suggest? Oh, calming music. So if you if you want to stream something really soothing, like a meditation type of music, or there's actually specific music called solfeggio frequencies. It's SOLFEGGIO, solfeggio frequencies, and it's a frequency that, well, it's certain hertz. Okay, hertz is a type of frequency. um and they support the chakra system. So each frequency, each hertz is different and will support a different chakra system. So for example, you could do 396 for root chakra, and then I don't remember the other numbers, but let me take a quick peek here. 396 is for root chakra. 528 hertz is for solar plexus chakra. That's where, we get our personal power and our self-will. It helps with anxiety, so that would be a good one. And then 639 is the heart chakra frequency. Solfeggio frequency 639 can support heart chakra. So maybe any of those would be really nice. Or if you have some good, meditation, calming music. Classical music is also really, really wonderful for pets to keep them less stressed. So maybe play some calming music. And, the thing is, we have to also control our emotions and our stress. So if we're stressed about it all, they're going to pick up on that as well. So just be as calm and as positive as you can. Maybe even just distract them with some playtime, so that they're not sitting there listening for the fireworks or to the fireworks. Just get them distracted by something else. So a good wand toy session, fetch, whatever the case might be, that you can do safely indoors, just to help them expel some of their energy and keep them distracted. And let me see if there was anything else. Those are like my favorites. Oh, an herb garden. So if you have any herbs, it's awesome if you can create a little herb garden. You put a little towel down and you put like maybe a teaspoon or half a tablespoon of an herb. Like chamomile is very calming. Angelica root is really good for supporting root chakra and feeling safe. Yarrow is. Valerian, hello, they use that in a lot of the catnip toys, right? So valerian is one that can be very grounding as well. Let me think if there was another one. Chamomile. Those are like my faves for like a little herb garden. So you just put them in little piles and just set it out, and it's there if your pet wants to self-select. What they do is a lot of times they'll just go sit. They'll walk over and they'll kind of sniff around. Sometimes they'll actually sit down in front of the herb. I've actually seen them sit on the herbs, like they'll put their solar plexus chakra, their tummy, right over the herb that they're needing at that time. Sometimes it doesn't look like they're really, I'm going to say, quote unquote, doing anything with it. But if you watch their eyes and you watch their nostrils, maybe they're just getting a little nostril flare. You can tell that they're sniffing it, but they're acting all chill and cool. Or just see their eyes kind of slow blink. They're just taking in those molecules, even though, it doesn't have to look as obvious like they're, sniffing flowers or something. It doesn't have to be like that, because remember, their sense of smell is so much greater than ours. And even the slightest molecule or scent, the terpenes, they can sense that and they can smell that. So they don't have to be like right on top of it. If you have essential oils that are calming, like there's one called Peace and Calming by Young Living. That's a blend that's really nice. If you want to diffuse something that's calming, lavender is a very calming essential oil that you can also diffuse. And it doesn't take much with cats, So if you have a water diffuser, maybe like 3 or 4 drops, and just put it in, like a general area. And if they need to leave and they don't like it, they can always have an escape route, so they can go in another room and get away from the scent if they decide they don't need it. Bonnie says, she does rescue remedy and a CBD calm. I love that. And she usually starts the morning of the 4th. Yeah, start tonight if you need to. It's a good reminder for me because I know that, well, yeah, I'm trying out a new calming product by Thorn Vet. So we'll see how that goes. Bonnie says I also put on calming cat music for them and we do walks around the house. I love it. I love it. The things that we do to entertain and distract our pets, and help them feel calm and safe in holidays like this. It's just what we have to do because, people are just weird about fireworks. I don't know what it is. Why can't you just go somewhere and watch them or just watch them on TV? Why do you have to pop them in your driveway and, out in the front of my yard on the street or whatever, or 2 streets down? They're so freaking loud. And then of course I can't go to sleep right away because people are shooting them off at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. It's like, geez. Okay, rant over. So what questions do you guys have? What are you guys struggling with this week? Has anything popped up new on your cat's radar that you need help with, or you just maybe some general questions of some kind? I am here to help where I can, and if I can give you some specific ideas or some supplements to try, things like that, I'm happy to see what I can do to help. Vicky says, Omelet and Bootsy say hi. We just had the first part of our evening dinner. We are waiting on our cooked chicken. Awesome. Your cats are so spoiled. I love it so much. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one up here. Jody says, hi, Jody. First of all, thank you for coming. I am struggling with feeding raw food to my cats. They have been transitioned for over a year, but I've noticed that they all get constipated very easily. I've dealt with several UTIs as well. The food I feed is commercial raw. Some brands are Steve's Quest. I love it. Lotus, awesome. Primal, great brand. Small batch, Vital Essentials, awesome. I know raw feeding is the best species appropriate diet, but what might be missing in their diets to keep these from occurring? Is there a supplement I think that says that I should try? Yes. Here's the thing. Even in a balanced raw diet, sometimes cats need extra fiber. And that's, they just don't have enough in the recipe, perhaps, or it's not the type of fiber that they need because different types of fiber sources kind of work a little bit differently. For example, like a coconut oil would be a type of fiber, but it's not always indicated. Versus like dark leafy green minced kale, for example, or if you have a pureed Jerusalem artichoke or something that is, what was I thinking? What is it called? Fermented vegetables. Not that cats are super excited about those, but you may try psyllium husk or cooked pumpkin, pureed squash of some kind. Sometimes inulin fiber will do the trick. So it depends on what is already in the recipe that they're eating, and maybe it's just not the right type of fiber. But that typically solves the constipation problem. The other thing that you could look at is doing something like the Animal Essentials colon rescue because it has slippery elm and marshmallow root, which are both very soothing and lubricating to the GI tract. So that might be something that you could do to kind of help move things along. But I have a feeling it's just a lack of fiber. So why don't you explore trying different types of fiber sources? And it doesn't take much. So like maybe a half a teaspoon or quarter teaspoon once a day until you find that sweet spot, until they have really good normal poops. They're not struggling in the litter box. And you might need to add a little bit of moisture. So like a bone broth, goat's milk, just maybe a teaspoon into their food. Those are really healing too. And sometimes probiotics. Sometimes they just need some gut support. So maybe try a one of those options and see how that works for you. And Jay Kennedy is here. I am so excited to see you. So she says, I have a pet dragonfly. I'm trying to transition to a more species appropriate diet. I have to show you guys this. Hold on. And I want to feed it a raw diet, but I worry my cats will try to eat it if they get the smell of that food on my sweet little dragon queen. That's her name. So, what would a healthy diet be for a drag queen? Dragon queen. I can't even speak. You're like making me laugh. That won't make my cats eat her. Well, first of all, I would make sure your dragonfly friend, say that 10 times fast. Dragonfly friend is outside, and then she won't have to worry about being eaten by the cats. That's my best advice there. And maybe get you some beautiful potted plants that have nice flowers on them that your dragonfly can go like flower hopping and get some nutrients from those. What do dragonflies eat anyway? I don't even know. I don't even know. But I love that. You remind me of another friend I know that always comes into your podcast and asks you about his pet cat that he doesn't have, right? She's cracking me up. Okay. We're building a catio and a drag queen will love it. Yes, yes, and I cannot wait to see that because your cats are going to just want to move outside. I'm just telling you, especially Zorro, and I have a feeling Jack's going to like it too. And if Jack likes it, Annie will like it. So that is going to be so much fun. So, okay, so Bonnie says, I add organic MCT oil and broccoli florets in very small amounts, and I don't give food with bone. It really helps with constipation. Yeah, especially if you've got older cats. Jody, and I don't know how old your kitties are, but the older cats sometimes tend to struggle with the raw diet so much if it does have bone in it. So it doesn't mean you can't feed that. You just might need to, look at maybe some options, some brands that maybe have some boneless options where they use like a calcium powder. And I think Darwin's does that. Don't quote me. But I think they have a diet. Maybe it's the kidney specialty food. I don't know. But definitely something you guys could look into as far as the constipation goes. And the MCT oil is a good lubricant. It's a medium chain triglyceride, MCT. And then the broccoli florets, even broccoli sprouts, if you mince them up real good, that's another option. Let's see. Okay. She says he was 15 passed recently. The others struggling are 3 years and 2 years. Okay. Barbara adds the aloe juice. That's another good option too. Yeah, aloe vera juice, George's aloe vera juice. You could definitely try adding that as well. Let me think about that a second. Your young ones are 3 years and 2 years. Oh, I have something else that just popped into my mind. Call this an intuitive hit for whatever it's worth. Your 15-year-old. Now, you mentioned UTIs, right, Jody? Is it for your young ones or was it your 15-year-old? If you can clarify that question for me, then I wanted to share something that just kind of dropped into my head. But I need that answered. Bronson Ragdoll says MCT oil has a lot of calories, so keep an eye on that if your cat is heavy. Yeah, the thing is you don't need much. Maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon, very small amounts. And then there's some cats that need to put on weight. So especially with older cats, sometimes they get a little leaner. So watching that. So Jody says yes. So your younger two cats are getting the UTIs. Okay, now this is making more sense to me. here comes the woo woo. I have a sense that your 15-year-old kitty is visiting, and he is causing stress for the two little ones because he's like, hey guys, I'm still around. I just wanted to pop in and see everybody and coming in to check on you, of course. They come back and visit, and they look like orbs, and they tend to not congregate, that's not the word. They tend to go wherever your cats are because they're family, right? So, and I'm speaking from my own experience. Their energies look like they are like dive bombing all around them, and the cats don't understand what they're seeing or experiencing. So they get very anxious, which is affecting root chakra, which affects the large intestines. Hello, you have constipation. And UTIs, the two most common reasons why cats get UTIs are stress and improper diet. And it's not your improper diet, it's probably from the stress. And it's the emotional stress. They carry the emotion, or they store the emotion fear in their bladder and their stomach, their solar plexus area. So that's just one of those centers where, if there's a lot of anxiety or fearful kind of situations, that energy gets stuck and blocked, and it gets stuck in the sacral chakra area, which affects the bladder, and therefore you get UTI issues. So, and your 15-year-old had interstitial cystitis. The young ones are getting UTIs. This is all while the 15-year-old was still here. He just passed June 1st. UTIs have been all during the last year of food transition. Okay. Okay, we'll just wipe out that thought because, well, not necessarily. There could be other things in the environment that are causing stress that affect the root chakra if the UTIs have been going all this time. So I would also look at the overall environment. Are they acting afraid? Because again, it can affect the root chakra, which affects the large intestines. And that can contribute to emotional blocks around procrastination, which kind of equals constipation. Things stay in there too long, and then the water gets rehydrated and it gets very dry, and it's horrible. The fact that I don't feel like it's I don't feel like it's the food. I think it's something else that's contributing to the UTI issues, especially since your 15-year-old had it too. So is it possible that there is stress in your environment, in your home? Are you feeling very stressed or anxious? Could that energy be putting off into the environment for them? Or do you have another pet in spirit that could possibly be visiting? Because all of these are possibilities. That would have, something in their world besides food, because food itself, I mean, you've been doing this for a really long time. So whatever, initial stress there was of transitioning should be way gone by now. I just don't understand why the food issue would not. I just don't feel like it's that. I think it's something emotional or in the environment that's contributing to that kind of stress that's causing those kinds of issues. So have a think about what you can do in the environment to make them feel more secure, calm. You can even add, calming supplements, flower essence into their food, just to help calm everything. She says, I'm always anxious when it comes to the cat's health, and my 15-year-old had a lot of health issues from hyperthyroidism to heart issues. Yeah, we have to look at ourselves and just remember that whatever emotional experience we're having, we're carrying, we are putting that into their field because we are all connected energetically. And cats can't leave the house, indoor cats. They're kind of stuck. If our energy is off and out of balance, they really don't have much escape from that. So I would start, even if you had to figure out ways that you can help manage your anxiety or stress around their health. um, that would just finding ways that you can be more calm so that they're not always, reflecting that back to you, because that sounds like I'm not saying it could be the only thing, but it can definitely contribute to whatever, and it contribute to their own stress, emotional stress that leads to that. And here's another thing. Um, this is very interesting. There's a concept, well, it's a universal law, the law of vibration. Whatever vibration you are putting out into the field, if you are anxious and worried because you've had bad experiences with health issues in the past from a cat, and that's what you're always focused and worried on, you are broadcasting that signal into the universe as if you're saying, send more, please, because this is what I'm emitting. So we have to be really cautious, and not cautious, that's not the right word. We have to be aware and we have to be mindful of our energy that we are putting out there. So instead of thinking, I'm worried, I'm anxious, is my cat, are my two young ones going to start having health issues? That is exactly, you are asking for a prescription of health issues and UTIs, because that's what you're already thinking you're going to get. So that's what you're getting. It's all about the energy. So think about ways that you can stop yourself in the middle of those thoughts and say, cancel, clear, cancel, clear. That's not what I want. I want happy, healthy cats, free from all urinary problems and all health issues. They are vibrant, they are healthy. Write out an affirmation, memorize it. Whenever you feel yourself starting to go down that negative path, stop, say cancel, clear, and state the affirmation that you want. So that is fundamental to everything we do in life, not just our pets, but it's a matter of being aware. We have to become aware of our thoughts, because whatever we're thinking and that energy that we're holding, we are emitting. That is the broadcast signal that we're asking for more of it. And so therefore the universe says, okay, you want cats with UTI issues because you're worried about it all the time. And that's what you're thinking about all the time. So now your cats are going to have UTI issues and they're going to have health issues. And so we don't want that. So we have to think about the opposite. It is a paradigm shift. But it's so important because it has such an impact in everything that we do, everything in our lives. One side note, Deanna and I are going to be doing another paradigm program later this month, for helping people understand the paradigm they're in and how to shift it. So be looking for that event. She says, every cat I've rescued has had health issues. So I'm always on alert. My first rescue came with cryptococcus, so I always expect the worst, even treated one for FIP. Yeah, we just have to shift how we think, because our energy can change that outcome. So instead of expecting sick cats with chronic conditions, start putting the energy out there that I only attract the most vibrant, healthy cats, and they find me. So it's a mind shift, yes, but you can do it. And we have to do that, because that's the kind of energy we want. And that will help us have healthier cats, because it's all about the energy and the environment that we create. So, and the energy that we attract. Okay, I know that was a long ramble. Bonnie says, Jasper drinks a lot of water, but only eats rehydrated, raw, dehydrated food. Yeah, she rehydrates the freeze-dried food. And he had blood work done around 6 months ago, and it was good. Could that be the freeze-dried food? I feel like it is. You know, It absolutely can. The key is you are feeding a species appropriate diet and it's hydrated, rehydrated, so not just dry. And this is very highly digestible protein that his body can use. So being an older kitty, they don't need less protein, they need more protein, but it needs to be really good quality protein that their body can just like, oh yeah, I can digest this, this is really good for me. So it's like it's closer to the fresh side, right? Even though it's not raw, it's been dehydrated, or yeah, freeze dried, sorry, it's been freeze dried. So yeah, that's better than canned food, honestly, because canned food is processed and processed and processed. So that's probably why his blood work is better. It's better quality food going in, for sure. Uh let's see what else I miss anybody? Um Vicky says, yeah, been there, done that. Yeah, so true. Yeah. Okay. That was a lot. Let me get a sip of water. Hang on. All right. So, is there anybody else that has questions? I can't believe we're 30 minutes in already, but happy to keep going if you guys still want to chat. So, let me know. Um, make sure I did not miss anything else. You are welcome, Bonnie. Um, Jody says, is raw still okay if they have had bouts with pancreatitis? I would say yes. Pancreatitis, it's in a lot of cases, it's from the food they've been eating, but not necessarily the raw. So it might have been the protein. So now that I have a little background on what you've been dealing with, let me explain something how this works. So when cats are having a lot of negative emotional, I call them emotional blocks, that what happens is the food that they're eating at the time gets imprinted as something bad. So the body looks at it and it associates it with whatever bad event, scary, energy, whatever it is that they were experiencing around the time that they were eating that food. And so the body starts to react to, let's just say it was chicken. I don't know what your cats eat, but let's just say it was chicken. And so the body starts to view chicken as, oh, that's a stress that's causing me stress. Long term, without removing the chicken, now the pancreas gets a little angry and it's reacting to the chicken. But it can be traced back to like the emotional issues that started the first place. So maybe it's just that you need to switch out a protein for 3 weeks or a month or 2 months. And if they haven't been eating that protein when they had pancreas issues, if it's been a really long time, it's probably okay to reintroduce it now because it's been a long time and the body's kind of cleared all of that stress out. So I would say yes, try a different protein. And if it's not, if there's no problems, if you don't have any vomiting or whatever, then you should be good to go. Sometimes emotional stuff can imprint due to like the fear, the emotions, and things like that. And raw food itself can be a stressor. Um, so it just depends on how things are imprinted and how the body is viewing those particular foods. So, like when I do energy work, for example, if food is a stressor or if there are food blocks because of stress, like cats whose vibe really drops because of fear and things like that. Raw food is a really high vibe food. It's high resonance. It's good energy, right? It's not processed. It's not dry food, which is very low vibe energy. So when their energy really drops, sometimes the raw food just doesn't agree. So I don't know if that makes sense, but you kind of think of it like a ladder. High vibe, high fresh food, raw food is way up here. And down here, the frequency is low. So your dry foods, your canned foods, things like that. So that's why when cats get sick or they're having emotional traumas and fears and stuff like that, they don't want their good high vibe, fresh food. They want the the processed food. Just like us when we're depressed or upset or whatever, we want the processed food. We reach for the chips and salsa. We want the comfort foods, right? We don't want the really fresh, good for you types of foods. It kind of works the same way. So think about that. See if that makes sense. Bonnie says Jasper did poop in the living room yesterday. I saged that area and it felt lighter. He's been in there all day. Is there any other ways to help him mark his territory? Okay, knowing his background, it could be that you have visitor and he didn't feel safe, and that's probably why he pooped there, because he doesn't do that unless he doesn't feel safe. So I'm glad that you saged the area and it felt lighter, but you may have to tell whatever it is to leave, which if you probably did that already too. So that's probably why. But I have one of those cats too. And whenever she's afraid, she poops somewhere in my bedroom. And it's not, I'll walk in and go, dang it, Aylin. The other day was not a good day. Then we had several droppings. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's probably why. It's probably something is really spooking him, and so he's putting his scent over there to make him feel safe. And so I know kind of what you've been dealing with in the recent past, so I bet that's probably it. So yeah, and Breeze is down here. Breeze, you want to come say hi? She's sitting on the floor. Hi, Angel. When you come say hi? No? Okay, she's just going to sit down there. So Bonnie says, yes, I told it to leave through a window unopened, and I'm doing it more often now. Darn visitors. I know. For some reason, they like your house. I don't know why. Jody says, sorry. Also, my 12-year-old has pica and eats really bad things that he shouldn't. Plastic, paper. Okay, he had all the inflammation. Okay, so pica typically is due to rabies vaccinosis, or emotional trauma, emotional blocks. So if you have not done detox work, or if he's had rabies vaccines, even if it's just one, do some detox work, clear out all the toxins, and those elements that contribute to the pica, because that is linked to rabies vaccinosis. If your cat has had emotional trauma, they eat this kind of stuff sometimes to self-soothe. It could also be due to some kind of a microbiome imbalance. So you could also look at doing an animal biome test to see, is there anything really totally out of whack? Because sometimes pets will eat stuff. They're trying to fill a void inside them. I know it's really odd, but people do that too. So think about those two possibilities and see if one of those resonates. Does that make sense? That would be my first suggestions. And I've got vaccine detox program on my website available for purchase. It's $10. And then it outlines all of the product, all the process. So why we do it, how we do it, products to use, and all that good stuff. So she says, he had a rabies vaccine as a kitten, haven't gotten any vaccines since he was diagnosed with FHV at 4 months. Okay, good. Then you would definitely want to detox those vaccines because he's already immune compromised. And if you haven't done that, it doesn't matter how old they are, do it. I'm telling you, it can make a difference, because the further you go away from that initial target, that what's the word I want? Exposure date, the vaccine dates. The further you go away from that date, it just develops disease processes. So they get more and more and more as they get older. So detox, you have nothing to lose. And you know what? The body needs to detox every few months because we're just exposed to so much. There's toxins in our air, there's toxins in our homes, there's toxins in our food and things like that. So she says, I did use one anti-vaccine from Door Beast. Okay. I'm going to be real honest. I don't like that product very much because it does not address chronic vaccinosis issues. It's wonderful for right after a vaccine. It does not address rabies vaccines. There's like in all the years that I've been helping cats detox stuff, Listen is not in there. Listen is indicated 99% of the time, and not just Thuya. And silica rare, I rarely find that resonating. So I would use 200C potencies, 200 CK potencies for the listen, and a 200C for the Thuya, because your cat has issues. It has health issues and it wasn't vaccinated yesterday. So that's what I would use. But follow the process because you've got to make sure that the body is ready before you do any detox work. So we have to open drainage pathways. We have to support the liver and the lymphatic system. And then you go through vaccines and then you go through heavy metal and chemical stuff. So it's a process, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Bonnie says, wish you were going to CatCon. Oh, are you going to CatCon too? You're going to have to hug Jay and Adrian for me. Yeah, I'm not going. I'm going to Super Zoo in August, and that's my big trip. Okay, so Jody says, what is your detox called? It's on the shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com. It's under products. If you scroll all the way down, it's under vaccine detox, and it's called Vaccine Detox Program. So that's what I would start with, the outline, and then in that PDF, you're going to find all the different recommended product options and formulations and protocols and all of that good stuff to follow, based on, the cat's exposure, what they had. Oh, okay. Let's see if I missed anybody else. It's so funny. Bonnie says, I told it to leave through a window. Oh, I said that a while ago. Yeah, you're welcome, Jody. I had cat visitors. I had spirit cat visitors for like over the course of a week, and it drove my cats crazy. And they were not eating their food. Alan was pooping outside the litter box like on the daily. And I was trying to get them to leave, and I finally just lost it. I lost it, and I screamed. I screamed at the cat and spirit that was there, and I said, "You've got to go." And then I walked through. I saged my entire house, and I walked through with a window open, and I said, "Thank you for being here. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your support, but you cannot come into the house anymore because my cats are afraid and it is detrimental to them. And so you cannot come back in. If you need to talk to me, you send me a message through nature." And so now I really have to pay attention for those little spirit guides, the wild animals that cross your path that you have to go look up and find their meaning. So that's what I'm doing, and it's already worked. But yeah, that was last Friday and I just lost it. I'm like, I'm done. Okay. Anyway, on to next one. Kelly. Hi, Kelly. She says, struggling with black junk in one cat's ears. Did a vaccine detox, gut stuff, only feed raw rabbit. Using silver is not helping. Definitely not mites. It's probably not yeast if it doesn't smell and if it's black and not brown. It could be food related. Sometimes food stress can come up and look like stuff in the ears, as well as itchy spots, itchy skin, and things like that, pruritus. That's probably why the silver isn't working. It's not a bacterial thing. So it's probably more gut related. Um, my question is two suggestions. If you did a vaccine detox, how much liver support did you get? How long? And what kind of detox did you do? Like, was it like the one and only vaccine that they ever had, or was this something that was recurring? Did you detox heavy metals as well? Because sometimes that can be still in the body with all the, gosh, if you guys read the vaccine labels and what the shit they put in those things besides the virus stuff, you would just make your skin crawl. So the chemicals in there, the heavy metals in there, they they can just contribute to, more imbalance. Okay, so you did my detox. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so if you did all of that, try switching foods, because feeding only one protein is not ideal, and rabbit is very cooling. um and actually, rabbit itself, what was it I read about them, or learned about rabbit? If you're feeding rabbit, like, there's something about just rabbit that is not, I don't want to say it's not good, but it's not complete. I cannot for the life of me remember the detail about that. Um Gosh, if Jenny Dean was here, she'd probably be able to help me. Um Can you add another protein? Can you add a warming protein? Can you take them off rabbit for a little bit? Because maybe it's a food sensitivity. Maybe there's a just, sometimes they eat way too much of one protein, and it's not diverse enough for their microbiome. She says the poop is white, too much bone. Yeah, that too. So I would definitely take them off whatever raw food they're eating with the rabbit and try a different brand, different recipe, maybe something that doesn't have as much bone in it, or something that has eggshell calcium instead of bone. And try a different protein. Try chicken, try pork, try beef, bison. Mix it up so they get more diversity in terms of a nutritional profile rather than just one protein all the time, because I am telling you, eventually that's going to cause a problem. Um, I have one person that I know that is dealing with that, and the microbiome is so finicky, and the cat will only eat one protein. So you talk about challenges. Um, yeah, definitely try to create a lot more diversity and try to switch maybe with a different calcium source, eggshell calcium or eggshell powder, something like that, or something that has a lot less bone in it. And I don't know if it's a homemade recipe that you're using or if you're buying it commercial. Um, let me see what else. She says, I only got kitten shots from the breeder. Awesome. Yeah, but even the kitten shots, I dealt with vaccinosis and I had my two younger kittens. They had 3 rounds of that stupid FVRCP vaccine, and I don't like that. I still had to detox them when they got here. So it's just what we have to do. And they didn't have heavy metals in them, but I still had to detox them because of there's other stuff that's in that. And they were sneezing, and yeah, I was not really happy about that. And then I had to work on their gut, heal the gut lining and get all the inflammation out. So yeah. So Prince loves his raw rabbit. He also likes chicken. See, that's good because you got a cooling protein and you got a warming protein. So they will balance. So we have to make sure we give some balance. I try to change things up and give different proteins in the freeze-dried raw. Yeah. Awesome. Good job. Make sure I did not miss anybody. Bonnie, maybe next year I can get CatCon on my list, but it's so close to Super Zoo. I think it's like the same month. So that's a lot. It's a lot of travel. And it's when you're single and you have to get a cat sitter. My pet sitter is not cheap because I have 4 cats. So it's hard. It's hard to be gone, you know? Um, so yeah, until that situation changes and I can have someone who's not so expensive to come take care of them. Um, but yeah, it would be fun. It would be fun. Let's see. Make sure I did not miss anybody. So, does anybody else have any more questions? So, I hope you guys are going to have at least a relaxing day tomorrow, even if you don't plan to do fireworks. That would be just hanging out with your cats, right? Watching movies, reading, have some coffee, just relax. Hopefully, you don't have to work and you can just kick back and sleep in and enjoy the day with your babies because that's like the perfect day, right? Um, Speaking of sleeping beauties, Breeze is totally stretched out on the floor. Bless her heart. She's so tired. Um, okay. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll just wrap things up. But I really appreciate you guys being here. And again, if you want to explore energy work, doing some energy healing work, things like that, then you can definitely reach out to me. Check out the services available on our website. We've got Reiki, we've got animal communication, energy healing work, and all of that good stuff. Okay, one other question here. Jody says, I was wondering about tinctures made for people but giving to cats. Do you know the protocol to diluting them, especially since they have alcohol? Well, first of all, yes, it's typically like an eighth to a quarter of the human dose. So the percentage of alcohol is tiny, tiny, tiny. And yes, cats they can metabolize alcohol, and it's such in tiny amounts. So there's certain things like milk thistle, for one, is an herb that just you have to use the alcohol distillation to remove all for the processing of the herb, the tincture. So there are some plants that just need to have that alcohol component, but they do use that also to help preserve the thing. But when you consider the amount and the ratio, it's such a tiny, tiny amount. As far as your other question, yeah, I mean, like an eighth to a quarter of the human dose, whatever that is. But then you could also look at, things like Animal Essentials. They have tinctures made, formulated with dosages just for cats. Herbsmith, I'm trying to think, Pet Wellbeing. Um, Rita Hogan has herbs that she puts together too. And so you don't have to they're not just for people or just for pets, but they have brands that are great that if you want to get that's kind of formulated for pets, you can have that too. Let's see. Bonnie says, I'll be hanging out with the guys and enjoying a Taylor Swift concert, relaxing over food. Oh, fun. Vicky says, Kate is amazing. Kate is one of the animal communicators. Yes, she is amazing. Thank you, Barbara. You're very welcome. Okay, Laurie Christine says, my 4 kitties will be getting CBG oil tomorrow to help keep them calm with all the illegal fireworks going around us. I know, it's terrible. Christine, how are you? Says, do you have a favorite CBD oil? You know, I'm gonna have 2. There's one called Lix, Lix. It's elixir, and I can't remember. It was at Lix, I think Lix for pets. That one has been, I don't use it very often, but it's like tasteless. So it has MCT oil in it as the carrier. And that's one that I've tried. And then the other brand that I really like is the CBD Dog Health. So her research is just top notch and her formulations are great. So those two would be the ones that I would suggest if you really wanted to look at something. I've heard good things about Austin and Cat, as well as, let's see. No, I think there's one other one and I don't remember because I don't use it. So I hope that gives you some ideas. Oh, and here's something else, you guys. If your cats don't like to take it orally, you can rub it into their paw pads or inside their ears because they have a lot of blood vessels in those areas and it just absorbs right into the body. So if that works better than dropping it in their mouth or putting it on some, a treat or something, you can always do that. Lori Christine says, I also use flower essences as needed to keep the kitties calm. Yep. I've got a bunch of them too. So rescue remedy for tomorrow night might be helpful. Aspen, Memulus, and I know there's other like formulations that Jackson Galaxy has that are like combos. Cat Calm is also excellent. Feline Essential has like 70 something plus herbs all together that are very calming. It's like homeopathic. It's awesome. So yeah, you have to experiment and see which products your cats respond to the best. And it's always nice to have lots of tools. So you don't have to just rely on a supplement. Try the color, try music, try the herb gardens, try crystals. I mean, there's just so many different things that we can use, grounding mats, whatever, come up with use your imagination. So anyway, well, you guys, from Breeze and I, even though you can't see her, I just wish you guys a wonderful, happy 4th and a nice long weekend. Laurie says, I always tell people that flower essences are not essential oils. Yep, that's true. They're almost more like homeopathy for sure. Kind of formulated similarly. Anyway, not exactly similarly. It's a little different, but it's kind of the same energetic modality. So that's awesome. So anyway, okay, we will see you guys. I think our next event is for the radio show this month. And Dr. Barry Sands and I are getting together again, and we're going to continue our conversation on energy, frequency, and vibration. And it's a really cool topic this month, and I'm going to save it as a surprise. But anyway, thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Hope it's a long, happy one. And we will see you very soon. So enjoy the rest of your evening and hug your kitties for me. Bye, everyone.